Welcome back to the GScatter Complete Guide series. When working with many assets in GScatter, the viewport can slow down or even freeze. This usually happens because too many objects with high densities are being displayed all at once, causing more load on your system. Here are some simple optimization tips you can use right away. In the outliner, the circle icon toggles proxies. Proxies replace detailed assets with simple colored rocks, which greatly improves viewport performance. The eye icon controls viewport visibility. Turning off scatter systems you're not currently working on helps free up resources and makes it easier to focus. This does not affect the final render. The camera icon, however, controls render visibility. If it's disabled, the scatter system won't appear in the final render, which is useful for test renders or render passes. In the Effects Layer panel, under the Distribution tab, you'll find the Viewport Display slider. Lowering this value shows fewer instances in the viewport while keeping the full amount for the final render. Next is the Optimization panel. Here you can enable camera culling and choose a camera. When active, any assets outside the camera view are hidden in both the viewport and the render. As you can see, camera culling has several settings. Focal length and sensor size work like Blender's camera settings and controls the culling area. For example, if the culling focal length is set wider than the Blender camera, the culling region becomes larger than the camera frame. Matching these values with the Blender camera ensures that the culling matches what the camera sees. And the sensor size works similarly. Next are the render width and render height settings. These define the aspect ratio used for camera culling. If the render resolution changes, for example from a widescreen format to a square format, the culling area may no longer match the camera view. You can update the render width and height values to 1 each to reflect the new aspect ratio of a square. If you prefer not to work with ratios, you can simply enter the same resolution values used in the render settings. The buffer setting expands or shrinks the culling area beyond the camera frame. This is useful for two main reasons. Firstly, it prevents hard cutoffs at the edges of the frame by including a small margin outside the camera view. And secondly, it allows objects just outside the frame to continue influencing the scene, such as casting shadows or contributing to reflections. In this example, you can see that once I add some buffer, the vertical bars outside the culled area can cast shadows into the scene. Increasing the buffer improves visual accuracy but slightly reduces performance. Next is backface culling. It removes parts of the emitter that face away from the camera. This option is especially helpful in scenes with uneven terrains or curved emitters. By adjusting the backface threshold, you can control how aggressively these hidden areas are removed. Finally, we have distance culling. It limits how far the culling area extends away from the camera. This is particularly useful in scenes where the camera's view is blocked by objects like walls, cliffs, or buildings. Even if the emitter continues beyond those obstacles, distance culling lets you remove these assets that the camera can never see. Using even a few of these optimization tools together can greatly improve performance in heavy GScatter scenes. Thank you for watching.